Alright guys, so we're back. See the Equinox in the background? Yay! Again! Alright, well, Wayne's been having this problem where if you go over 50, it shakes like crazy. And we put it up on jack stands. It's all-wheel drive, so we put all of them up on jack stands. And you can feel it through the seat, through the center console, running it on jack stands with no vehicle load on. So we took the rear tires off just to make sure that it wasn't an imbalanced tire or a wheel that got bent or whatever, and still shook like crazy. So we've come to the realization that it's the center differential, your rear pumpkin, your rear diff, your rear carrier assembly, whatever you want to call it, and we'll show you why in a minute. We're pretty confident that we found the issue. So we'll show you how to get it out, and we'll show you why this is a problem. This is also a problem on these. Apparently it's a consistent problem with rear differential issues. So we'll show you. Alright guys, so this is where the CV axle goes into the rear diff. We'll have Wayne give it a good shake. See how that moves like that? Not good at all, and it does it on both sides. This is just the best camera angle I can give you right now. But that's the issue. So we're going to take this upper control arm out, or just off for now, and see if we can get it to move. If not, we'll take the trailing arm out. Alright guys, so we have that nut off, and now we just want to support it a little bit because the spring tension is still going to be on it right there. So we're just going to put a scissor jack and a block of wood underneath it, and then we'll be able to pull the bolt all the way out. Alright guys, so now the top bolt just slid out, and we don't have enough movement, so we're going to have to take the front 3 bolts of the trailing arm out.
Yeah, we are, but we're going to just loosen these up. We're not going to take them out.
Alright guys, so we loosened the upper, or we took the upper out. The lowers are loosened. We still don't have enough because of this front trailing arm. So we're going to take this front trailing arm out. Alright guys, so now I can kind of get you in here a little bit better. Here's the upper that we took out, and here's the trailing arm. It's got 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's loose, and then the e-brake cable is holding us up a little bit. So now this will move out. Alright guys, so you can see the axle in there. I'm going to pull out, and there we go.
Hold on. A little bit yet. It's out.
Alright guys, it worked. She's out. So basically your spindle or your knuckle is just going to lay flat like that. So it's much easier than having to take the nut off, having to do all that nonsense. This is just a quick, easy trick. Alright guys, I'm going to show you out here because it's much easier. You're going to have 4 drive shaft bolts to take out. You're going to have a mount on each side, and then you're going to have a rear mount as well. So you're going to have 3 mounts in the drive shaft, and this bad boy should be out. Alright guys, so it's kind of hard to see under here, but right there is the axle, and right in front of it is the mount, and that'll be the same on the other side. And then the rear mount is right there, if you can see the ratchet on the end of it. There's also a vent tube, and other than that, like I said, you gotta take the drive shaft off, but other than that, once you get that all popped apart, she'll slide right out. Alright, so it turns out you have to disassemble both sides, and you gotta get both axles out basically, because the bolt goes in like this, so when you pull it out, it hits the CV axle. So you gotta do both sides. Now this side was a little more complicated, only because it didn't want to cooperate. So just do what we did on the other side, but this side we actually had to take completely apart. We just left the axle in, but all the control arms and everything are off. It's supported just like the other side. Here we have the old one and the new one.
That's the old one, this is the new one here.
And also, don't forget about this vent, guys, when you pull it out. Alright guys, so it's all back together. To get that trailing arm back on, you're going to have to use like a ratchet strap or something to pull it front. Because just the way it's set up,